Welcome to the Page by Page Book Club. I'm your host, Paige in Print, and I bring you weekly book club meetings wherever you get your podcasts. Hello, and welcome back. I'm going to be honest with you guys out the gate. I am recovering from an illness. I was so unwell last week, y'all. I cannot begin to express it to you and to my clients who are listening. I know you're listening and y'all are just shaking your heads and you're acting like you were fine and we knew you weren't. Y'all were right. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I really try to power through those kinds of things, but I really hit a wall this weekend and I was truly, deeply unwell. So I have a little bit of a raspier voice today, but we had to get a podcast out. This is being recorded the day before it goes live. So hello from the past. I usually try to record my episodes like weeks in advance if possible. That's just not the case for us today. So thank you for your patience with my vocal fry. That's going to be stronger than usual because I think I have one naturally anyway. And we're just going to do our best today. If you saw the title of today's episode, it's a little bit of a Frankenstein. So I love a good bookstagram trend. I love a long-term trend. And two of my favorites are first favorite next and last now next. So first favorite next is taking a look at an author and saying, okay, this was my first read from them, my favorite read from them, and my next read from them. And then I kind of also thought we could Frankenstein this with last now next because I'm going to be honest, as a reader, I'm a serial monogamist. What can I say? I like to be loyal to my favorite authors. And so I have read a lot of my favorite authors and my most read authors backlists. So I figured it'd be fun to just go down the line and take a look at my shelves and discuss my first, last, favorite, next from my most read authors. So that's going to be the plan for today. And I don't think that's not true. I do have an update for you before we get into everything. I've kind of been hinting over the past few weeks at a new business venture that's really exciting. So if you've been just on the edge of your seat, which she says sarcastically, I'm sure you all have, I am super excited to share that I have officially launched my Patreon. And my Patreon is a little bit different. I feel like most podcasters are like, check out my Patreon for bonus content. That is not the case for my Patreon. My Patreon is actually for author business strategy content and for people who are looking to get business strategy information and updates and educational content asynchronously. That's the spot for that. So I know I have a few author friends listening to this, and if you're here, hello, that spot is for you. Author service providers, the spot can be for you. If you are someone who's just trying to get an understanding of the author business space, that's where I am posting weekly educational videos, educational video essays over on that platform. So I would love to have you there. It's patreon.com/Page and Print Literary Studio. Fancy dancy. So check that out if you want to hear me talk just like this, essentially just like this, but about business, not necessarily books. So, books and business. You get it. Okay, now, without further ado, let's just dive into it. Let's talk about first, last, favorite, next. The person I'm always going to start with is Molly Goins, Queen of My Heart. The one, the only. My best friend, my first client, my gal. We've officially been working together for over a year now, which is just so cool. And it has been so fun to grow together and to learn from each other and to work so closely with someone that means so much to me. So Molly, if you're listening, hello. And my first read ever from Molly was my ARC read of Despite It All, the third book in the Aster Creek series, which is so wild. However, Molly will tell you herself, she does encourage an out-of-order reading experience specifically for Aster Creek. I would say for Boston Blues, read it in order for peak understanding, cameo, etc. But Molly herself is an out-of-order reader. That's just her preference. She kind of reads based off of what interests her and she'll jump around a little bit. So I read Despite It All first. She does recommend that reading experience and oh man, the last book I've read from Molly was, it's a last and a now, I fear. Because I am currently reading, and do not come to my house, Catching Mine Molly's July release. I am alpha reading with her through that writing process. So that's my last and now from her. But my true last read was Stealing You. But yes, don't come to my home. No, you won't be able to find it. It's not like, I know people are like, they want their hands on Adam's story. And what can I say? It's just as amazing as you're going to hope it is. It just is. So I'm very, very excited for you all to read that one. But that is my last and now. My favorite, it really, really changes with the wind. Like, my favorite character from Molly is always going to be Jet Ellison from Despite It All. It just is. Like, I love that man. And so I think for that reason, Despite It All is always going to be just a contender. However, Molly's best work yet, and what I truly believe has to be my favorite, is Stealing You, third book in the Boston Blues series. There is just something, Molly has really perfected the art of a light read that has serious emotional impact. So I don't know that she would even consider Stealing You to be angsty per se, but there are a lot of emotional opportunities in that story, and I think that's, a really, really unique thing that she has on lock. And something that she truly perfected in Stealing You. That is a black cat golden retriever. She falls first. Roommates to lovers romance. Another thing she does well is just bend a trope in a way that it's not often done. I feel like in Black Cat Golden Retriever, he's yearning and he falls first. And he is the one who is kind of chasing that, and in this case she falls first and he doesn't want a relationship, and she does, but not like, she's very patient and doesn't force that, etc. And it's really well done, really different, and she's creating something special there. So my next read, I will absolutely be reading Catching Mine again. When I'm working with authors early on in their book releases, I usually at least read their books twice, so that's where that is coming from. So, that is Molly Goins, the queen, my gal, and my very first client. One of my other first clients is the ever beloved Corinne Michaels. Hello, darling. I love everything Corinne does. Corinne's been writing and has been in the game and just knows what's up. She really does. And her backlist is so beautifully extensive. Oh my goodness. I think she's written almost 40 books. 40 books? Like, she's up there. So the options are truly endless. I have read quite a lot of her backlist, having worked with her. And my first read from her ever was Forbidden Hearts. And that was a recommendation brought to me by my other best friend, Torianne Harris. Torianne is a big Corinne Michaels cheerleader and always has been. And as we know, Tori is my best friend. And Tori, I followed her, like casually followed her when I didn't even have a book account. Like, I followed her on my like government name TikTok account. I was getting all my recommendations from her. And then what had happened was I ended up going on a Fiction Found Readers Retreat last year for the first time in April, and she's the host of those. Before I started co-hosting them, she was doing them, and we met for the first time, and it was so funny. I was talking to my husband and my mom about it, and I was like, I need to tell her that, like, I've been following her for a very long time. I'm like, this is fan fiction behavior. Your favorite influencer that you follow, you're now best friends with. So we always joke about that. But that is how I found Corinne Michaels and how I got into her stories. So there wouldn't be this if there hadn't been Torianne, and for that we're forever grateful. So Forbidden Hearts was my first read from her. That's the first book in the Whitlock series. It's a small town series following the Whitlock family. Siblings, 3 brothers and a sister, and yeah, so that was first. My last read from Corinne Michaels was West of Forever. Yeah, it was. And again, I'm like, don't come to my house, people. Don't come to my house. One of the best parts of working with my clients is getting to read their upcoming releases early. So, is it as good as it looks? Well, yes. Yes, it is. It is my favorite Corinne Michaels book, which you may may excite you more. I mean, may make you a little more frustrated, but may excite you more. West of Forever is everything that you're going to want it to be and more. The cover does the book justice, and I cannot wait for you to read this new cowboy romance story. You can read the blurb. The tropes have not been revealed yet, but you can kind of glean some of the tropes from checking out the blurb, so be sure to do that. If I had to pick a favorite that wasn't this one that's not released yet, I would say actually Help Me Remember. Help Me Remember is the first in the Rose Canyon series, and it is an interconnected romantic suspense series. Crazy. Crazy good. Amnesia, which, like, the amnesia trope's wild. I think that was actually my first ever amnesia trope book. Brother's Best Friend, Angst. Man, Corinne used to write some angsty stuff. If you listen to her episode with me on the Page by Page Book Club, she talks about why she doesn't write so angsty anymore, and it's fascinating. So check that out. But yeah, so I think that's got to be my favorite. Read that series if you haven't yet. And then my next read from her is going to be, aside from rereading West of Forever in preparation for release, again, Don't Come to My House, but I Never Been Tamed. It's on my Kindle. Book 2 in Heartstone Ranch. So I'll keep you in the loop. Don't come to my house. I'll tell you how it is. And I will see you in October for that release. So, man, let's see. Let's do Samantha Young. I have my Samantha Young shelf. I love everything Samantha does. I have read probably 20 of her books, I feel like, at this point. My mom and I just love Samantha's stories and her writing and everything set in Scotland. It's just so dreamy and magical. So my first read from her was actually, it was Beyond the Thistles, which is the first book in the Highland series. And if you've been here, you know that is not my suggested reading order. Don't do that. Don't do it. I suggest reading the Adaires, then the Highlands first for peak interconnected cameo performance. You will be wondering who people are if you jump straight into the Highland series. So, absolutely loved that book. My last Samantha Young read was Hart Street Lane, which is the third book in the Back on Dublin Street series. Loved this story. It is another angsty. He's a professional soccer player, fake engagement romance, best friends. This was phenomenal, y'all. Like, phenomenal. I just am obsessed with the way Samantha is evolving as an author and the way she writes her characters and their dynamics. They're really unique and well fleshed out, and I'm having a great time. So, my favorite Samantha Young book, I feel like it changes with the wind. If you asked me yesterday, I would have said On Lover's Lane, the first book in the Back on Dublin Street series. If you ask me today, I'm going to say Here With Me, the first book in the Adair family series. To me, that is just romantic suspense perfection. I love the suspense in Here With Me. It's the perfect intro. You can jump into it today. And there's just something so special about that story. So, love it. My next release is going to be Drifting Dawn. I cannot wait. That's the second book in her Scottish Isles series. So if you have been looking to binge some romantic suspense, read the Adaires and the Highlands and then jump straight into the Isles as it's currently releasing, the Scottish Isles series. Samantha is a star. So much of a star, in fact. Catherine was talking about her on our episode. So let's do Catherine. My journey with Catherine, I have read Catherine's entire backlist. I have read all the books she has to offer, and my first read from her was Whispers of You, the first book in the Lost and Found series, and I binged that series in 1 week, and man, first of all, such a bingeable series, but do you ever just read something like a series or a book so fast and you're like, I'm never going to be able to read that for the first time again, and I just rushed through it. And I haven't rushed through it, but just like ate it up. It's one of those things where it's like, if I could Eternal Sunshine those books from my brain and read them again for the first time, I would. So something special about that series. My last read from Catherine was Across the Vanishing Sky, which we clap and cheer. I've said it before and said it again. It is her best work yet. I love, and I feel like this is the case for everyone we're talking about. I just love seeing authors continue to evolve and better themselves through every release. it's just so exciting to see, and like you feel like you're growing with them, and I love it. It's just one of my favorite things about reading backlists and reading front lists and going growing with an author. So her best work yet. However, if I had to pick my favorite, I think Secret Haven just still holds that place in my heart. The payoff of a 6-book series to land on that story with that couple and that feeling and that emotion, like it was lightning in a bottle. It really was. And Secret Haven will always be just that girl. But Across the Vanishing Sky is like extremely close second. So with that being said, I do recommend, if you're going to read the Sparrow Fall series, to read it in order for that emotional payoff. Like, it's so well worth it. My next Catherine book is going to be Into the Fading Twilight. I cannot wait. I am on the edge of my seat waiting for the next story. The couple has been revealed on our episode together. We were waiting to reveal the FMC, so if you haven't finished Across the Vanishing Sky yet, finish it, and then go seek out the couple. You'll see why. You'll know why. It's for spoiler purposes. So, love Catherine. Speaking of watching authors just grow and evolve and just outdo themselves, Lena Hendricks come to the front. Y'all knew I was going to say this. You did. And we'll get to it. But again, another Torianne Harris original recommendation from before I had a bookstagram. My first read from her was One Touch. One Touch was going pretty viral on TikTok when I was just a reader, just a guy with a Kindle and a hope and a dream. So I read that one first, which is actually book 2 in the Sullivan family series. That's kind of a 9-book interconnected saga, similar to the way Samantha does it, where it's like you can read them in whatever order, you can jump around, but for peak cameo and storyline and through line, definitely recommend reading them in order just because they're so fun. I think you should read all of them. So One Touch was my first. My last read from Lena was Beneath the Frost. Beneath the Frost. Oh, my lord. 6 stars. It's 6 stars. What can I say? I will just forever be singing that book's praises. I don't know if you all remember last year coming out of reading Merit by Devaney Perry, where I just went into it expecting another book, and I came out of it being changed forever. And I think that those sleeper reads, not that you weren't expecting them to be amazing, because I was expecting Beneath the Frost and Merit to be amazing. I just wasn't expecting it to rock me like that, to have such an emotional impact, like to resonate with me so deeply. So those two are very similar in their impacts on me. You will be seeing Beneath the Frost in the Page and Print Awards in December. Like, it's just, it is next level. So that whole series, I know I talk about it like every episode, but like the Star Harbor series, come on people, read it. So that was my last read from her, and it's my favorite. Write that down. Write that down. It is just so good. Keep your eyes peeled for it on April 30th, 2026. And if you're waiting for it and haven't read Chasing the Sun and When We Fall, please, I beg of you, get caught up. Such an amazing series. My next read from her is going to be whatever she puts in my inbox. Whatever Lena says, hey queen, here you go. I'll be there. I'll be there reading the book, clapping and cheering. I've read 16 books from her, and she has me clapping and cheering every time. Lena is just that girl. So thank you, Lena. Laura Pavlov. I am on my Laura Pavlov train, and the first book I read from her was the first book in the Cottonwood Cove series, and the name is escaping me, so we're going to look it up together as we do. I read it. I just remember so vividly. It was Thanksgiving week, or it was the week before Christmas or something like that, because I remember being at my parents' house reading these, and I was just like moving through them, and Laura just writes the quintessential small town experience. Okay, it was Into the Tide, book 1 in the Cottonwood Cove series, and I don't even know where I found this read. But I picked her up nonetheless, and I've been hooked ever since. So I've now read the Cottonwood Cove series, oh my gosh, Laura, You move so fast. I'm like, what are the names of these towns in Cottonwood Cove, Rosewood River, and come on, Magnolia Falls. Oh, I do love the Magnolia Falls series as well. So, first, Into the Tide. Favorite? I'm gonna have to say, and y'all are gonna be like, really? And I'm gonna say yes. Well, no. I retract. I pull back. It's gotta be my girl, the diva, none other than, and her name is escaping me, and I'm giving her, man, poor Laura. My what's happening is that my Laura books are turned around on my shelves because the printed edges are so beautiful. So I'm just looking at the edge. My Silver Lining. My Silver Lining is just that girl to me. It's my favorite. Please do not take me having a hard time remembering the name as it not being that girl. I just truly always mix up and like mash up Laura's titles, like My Silver Lining, You, Me, and Forever, Steal My Heart. Like, I'll be like, okay, well, My Silver Heart. And then it's like, Crazy in Love. Like, In a Heartbeat. Like, you know how just books sometimes have the ring to them? I do it with Catherine's too, where it's like, Whispers of You, Echoes of You, Glimmers of You. It's like, which one's which? But anyway, My Silver Lining. But a very close second is Crazy in Love. She's just done something different with this Rosewood River series. It's just, she keeps getting better and better. So love that. So that was my last read from her, was the last book in the Rosewood River series, which is called Please Hold. See, they're all running together. I'm so sorry, y'all. You're probably laughing at me and or yelling at me. And to that I say, don't you love this podcast? Don't you love this experience you and I have together where you're just driving down the road yelling the names of books into the abyss and I'm here in the past not being able to remember them? Oh my gosh. I always say it, but I would say that if aliens came down to Earth, a Laura Pavlov book would be the perfect book to give them. No, not In a Heartbeat. You also may be thinking to yourself, you could just cut this. I won't. I will let you sit here with me in this Whisper Sweet Nothings. There we go. That was my last read from her. Last book in the Rosewood River series. Yeah, I'm not going to cut it. We're just going to sit here together in this. I hope you enjoyed your time on Goodreads with me and trying to discover that. So that was my last. My next is her upcoming release, and it's Beefcake Story. And if you don't know what that means and you're confused and you're like, beefcake, pardon me? Yes. So, in this whole, like in the past 10 books, I would say, there has been a child named Cutler, is the child of the couple in Beating Heart, and from the Magnolia Falls series, and he is so funny, and he's told everyone that his handle is Beefcake, and he would like to be called Beefcake as a child. And so he's finally getting his next gen story, and I am just so excited about it. So Laura Pavlov, your star. I'm so sorry, I always get your titles mixed up. It's not you, it's me. I love you down. So, love me some Laura Pavlov. Tilly H. Colson. I'm just so excited for you all to get to read what's next from her. I know on my recap episode, I had to cut a bunch of stuff because I was spoiling things, but we'll get to that. My first read from her was Silver Linings. See? Lots of silver linings. Notice? See how I get confused with titles? We were just talking about My Silver Lining. Now it's Silver Linings. I love Silver Linings. It is a good old classic. Best friend's brother, marriage of convenience, not his baby romance. And who doesn't love to see it? My last read from Tilly H. Colson is actually, I'm in the middle of it. It's my alpha read of Sun and Summer, which is the second book in the Silver Ridge Ranch series. Having a blast with that. My favorite book from her is Silver Shadows, I believe. Silver Shadows or Blue Norther, her upcoming release. Man, Silver Shadows is another one. It was just one of those things where I'm reading it, I'm like, I'm being rocked to my core. Rocked to my core. And out of off the pages into my soul. It was just, it really rocked me. And same goes for Blue Norther. It was just such a great, great, great story. An unexpected twist in that story where I was like, do I know what's going to happen? I think I do. And that's always a fun feeling. My next is going to be that reread of Sudden Summer. As I've mentioned many a times now, I read it in the alpha phase and I read it later on. So that's my upcoming for that. Let's go K Cove. My first K Cove read was Whistleblower. And we know how much I love Whistleblower. She's just that girl to me. And it's our romantic suspense about our quasi-government agency of vigilante assassins. My last read from her was Paper Hearts, which actually releases today if you're on the day I'm recording. So that's a pop star bodyguard romance that I'm obsessed with. My favorite K book, this is another one where it depends on the day and you could ask me on different days and I tell you things differently, but Whistleblower and Role Play, both just special places in my heart. My next read from her is going to be Gray Area, the third book in her Off the Book series. It's on my Kindle. I'm going to be reading it this week. Cannot wait. It's like an early arc. I don't think it's alpha or beta in the sense of there's not going to be any updates that I'm making, but with being on her team, I'm going to be reading that one early and I'm really looking forward to that. Let's do a few more here. Sarah A. Bigley. Hello. If you're here, love you down. My first Sarah book was Heathen and Honeysuckle, again, discovered by none other than Torian Harris, my personal recommender. Everyone say thank you, Torian Harris. We love Heathen and Honeysuckle, and then I think everyone knows how I feel. My favorite book from her is Wicked and Wildflower. I just love Everett Ramos. Everett Ramos and Jet Ellison are very adjacent, where it's like me loving them so much makes me love their books so much. You know what I mean? So, Wicked and Wildflower, just always, always, always special place in my heart. But again, Sarah's one of those that it's just like she gets better and better and better. And it's kind of your pick of just who you resonate with most, which, like, what a blessing. And so, my last read from her was the one and only Tattered Tides, her upcoming release that's going to be releasing in May. So, stay tuned from a brief word from Sarah here in the future. So many exciting things. And then, my next read from her is probably gonna be Sidelined Souls, her next release. I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. So I'll be with Sarah out in Detroit here in May. Where else can you find me? I'll be in Vegas this weekend, if you're listening on release week, for an event with Kay. I'm not doing a ton of signings this year. I will be at a meet and greet cute with Molly, and Sarah will be there as well. I should be at Tennessee LitCon with Kay, which will be very fun. So stay tuned for some travel. And then I'll be at book retreats. Y'all know I'm going to be at a retreat. Love. Okay. Few more. Maggie Gates. So my first Maggie book was What Hurts Us, which is the first book in the Falls Creek series. And I actually have no idea how I found the Falls Creek series. It must have been a TikTok find. I read it before I even had a bookstagram. So that was like an early love of mine. My last read from her was Seven of Hearts, I believe. Loved that book. A little accidental pregnancy standalone action. My favorite read from Maggie, I think it's still What Saves Us, but I'm obsessed with the Poker Club series. Like, obsessed to the point where it's like I kind of want to do just a dedicated episode to the Poker Club series. So there's a market for that. Holler if you want like dedicated episodes to a series. You know I could do that. You know I could yap about a series for like extended period of time. So that's what I would say for that. And then my next, I am currently waiting on the audios for the last two books on the Poker Club series, and I'm going to be reading them back to back. So that's my plan there. What else? Anybody else? Victoria Wilder. My first read from her was Piece of Color. I was a Riggs girl before I was a Bourbon Boys girl, which is crazy to say, but it's true. So absolutely love the Riggs family from Victoria. And then my last read from her was Bourbon and Proof. Love. My favorite read from her is, again, this is She's another one where it's like, it depends on the day. I could tell you Hide and Peak. I could tell you Bourbon and Lies. And it just depends. Just depends on my mood. I just love an FMC written by Victoria Wilder. And if you've read her whole backlist, you know what I mean. G from Hide and Peak is just, she's a next level FMC, so absolutely love her down. My next one's going to be Rumors and Whiskey, the first book in the Whiskey Women series. And that cover was revealed today as well, or it's going to be revealed tomorrow, today or tomorrow. It's in my inbox, and she's beauty, she's grace, and she's stunning. Let's wrap up with one more. Let's go Sloane St. James, my first read from Sloane. I know I read these. No, I was going to say I read them out of order, but I actually don't think I did. I did the Lakes Hockey series on audio as they were releasing on audio. So I did Before We Came first, which is wild. So Before We Came was my first. My last read from Sloane was A Vink in Alchemy. Loved. Her first true step into morally gray dark romance, and we loved it. My favorite, I just did a reread of Strong and Wild, and she's that girl. She is that girl, but Stand and Defend is just stand and defend for a reason. You know? If you know, you know, and you don't, you don't. And if you don't, I flag, as I always do with Sloane, she's a spicy girl. She's a spicy girl, so if you're a spicy girl, pick it up. If you're not a spicy girl, perhaps not. But love. My next read from her, she just announced, Of Karma and Corridors, book 2 in the Black Rabbit series. So can't wait for that. Cannot wait. So those are just a few first, last, favorite, nexts from a few of my favorite authors. A few of the people mentioned today may be joining us here soon. And I cannot wait to be chatting about all of this with them, with you. So stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you for your constant love and support. And it makes it really, really easy when I'm not feeling well or when things are busy and, launching a new business venture and all those good things to show up here and get to chat with you. It's really, really special. And I could not be more grateful. I know I say it every week, but it's true. There's no words that could truly describe how grateful I am that this is my job, and that I get to talk to you like this, and that you all show up and listen and engage, and it means everything, truly. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you have any episode requests, if you have any questions, please pop into my DMs. I would love to chat with you. I would love your recommendations. If there's anything you want to be hearing from me, I would love, love, love to know. And I think that'll do it for today. But happy springtime, happy daylight savings. I hope the sun is out later for you. I hope you are enjoying the season. I hope you're enjoying the sun. And I will see you all in the next one.